G'day trendsetters, I'm here today to talk about little green air layering balls. Now, firstly, I'm wearing a mask because I'm at my work, which is an aged care facility, and to be allowed onto an aged care facility in Queensland at this date and time, you need to be wearing a mask, so it's on. Secondly, little green balls. I'm probably a little bit late to the party with these guys. I only found out about them a few weeks ago and I was immediately intrigued. Jumped onto YouTube, found videos everywhere of these things, so I don't know how long they've been around. I don't know how long people have been aware of them, but this is my first go. I've already done a few on the azalea behind me here, and I'm going to go through step by step shortly on how I have done that. A few things I've found out, it might be just particular to this type, is you've got these two little locating pins here, and I have found them quite difficult to close it right up and get them to lock. At the moment I'm using a pair of pointy nose pliers and I'm still struggling. Good, thanks, how are you?
You're working today, eh?
No, just making a video for a bit of fun.
I'll get out of the way then.
Yeah, righty. Secondly, I found out you really need to keep the face of this clean. It's probably just a bit of common sense, otherwise you will not be able to get it to close up tightly enough and make a firm seal. Thirdly, on the bottom of this, there's two little pins. I'm only assuming that's the bottom, and they clamp on the stem to stop the little green air laying ball from sliding up and down the stem. So I'm hopeful of good things from these. There's several citrus trees here I want to try later on in the season. We're going into winter now, so there's not much point. This is a mid-spring through to mid-autumn kind of setup. This is small. This is 2-inch or 50mm. You can get a medium, which I think is 75, and you can get a large, which is up to 100. So you're looking at fairly decent branches. One of the advantages of air layering with a ball like this is you can take a larger cutting, if you like. Whereas just normal cuttings that you can only take maybe 3 or 4 inch cutting at the best, and then you need to wait for it to grow. Whereas this you can take up to a foot with azalea. And like I said, with the 4-inch one, you could take a 2 or 3 foot cutting of something, have a nice enough root system there, put it in a pot, and away you go. So there's the advantage that way. The disadvantage is that you're limited to how many balls you've got. This comes as a set of 5. You can buy as many as you like, obviously. But if you're just doing normal cuttings, obviously you're going to get 50 to 100 cuttings off of that plant. Whereas really it's just up to how many balls you can fit on, which won't be as many as cuttings. So there you go, little green air layering balls. At least that's what I'm calling them. They go by hundreds of different names on the internet, but if you put air layering balls into eBay or Google, you'll certainly find some. If you've used these, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. If they worked, if they didn't work, I won't know for another 6, 8, maybe even 12 weeks before these guys do anything. But anyway, let's have a go at putting one of these together. First things first will be your propagation media. Now this is basically just a mix of seed raising mix and perlite. So there's 10 litres of seed raising mix to 5 litres of perlite, so that's a 2-to-1 mix. And I've also made it fairly wet. There's actually a puddle of water in there. It's that wet. Fairly wet. The other thing I was going to mention is this hole at the top will catch and allow water to go in, and I'll show you something shortly about what I'm going to do about that, just to keep the potting media mix in the inside moist. And I'm going to pack it in fairly hard. I don't want a whole lot of air spaces in here. It'll get enough air from the top and the bottom. You don't want it too raised, otherwise it won't close, but just a little bit proud, as they say, would be good, and keep that surface clean, which is pretty hard with perlite because it sticks to your bloody fingers all the time. Just one other thing with my cuttings on the azalea, I'm going to do one, because you can layer azaleas into the ground. I'm not going to do what you would normally do with air laying, which is like take the whole cambium layer off the stem. So two there I've just wrapped straight onto the stem, because like I said, they will air layer themselves anyhow, or ground layer themselves I should say. And the other one, I'm going to just take a sliver off the side, just to induce a little bit of a wounding, and hopefully that might even increase root formation, but we'll find out. So I'll do two different ones, but in this demonstration I will do the one with the wounding on the side. So let's get to it. That's a little ball, can you see that? That's all you need. I don't know how well you're going to see this, but we'll give it a go. I'm just going to take those few leaves off, and I'm just going to run secateurs up and just knock a little bit of that bark off. I reckon that'll do. And remembering that those little pointy bits there are for the bottom, fold it over, place it in, and bring the lid over, so to speak. Now, the pointy nose plier part, get these locating pins in the hole and squeeze. Yeah, see, it just, oh, got that one all right. What about this one? Yep, done. And the weight of the thing, they do just fall down. I'm not worried about that. Bob's your uncle. There's a few I've done prepared before. Here's one falling right down. Oh, another one down here. Oh, but they all fall down. Anyhow, just one more thing I want to show you. The only other thing I wanted to show you was just one of these little squeeze trigger pack things with water, and just you can squirt it into the top of your little green air layering ball to keep your propagation media in there moist. Now this one here obviously is going to fall down, but I don't think that's an issue. If you want, you can go from the bottom up. That's it. That should probably once a week, I think, will be enough. Keep that moist, and I don't know how long I have to wait for results, but when I do get some results, either way, good or bad, I'll let you know. Now, fingers crossed this works. In conclusion, I hope it does, because I've got a beautiful hibiscus here that I've had trouble getting cuttings of that I want to try. Several roses that I'd like to take air layerings from, and also I think I mentioned before citrus. But as I said, this is the first time I've used these, but fingers crossed, hopefully they work, and they work well. We'll find out. Cheers, thanks for watching. Alrighty, so what have I got? At least a foot long cutting here, and I'll remove some of these leaves, and with my trusty secateurs I just want to make a small nick along the okay, not that one,